Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you on why we need entrepreneurship department in all institutions and organizations in Nigeria and around the world. Institutions ranging from educational institutions, religious institutions, government parastatals and agencies, non-governmental organizations, why every institution should set up an entrepreneurship department. In my humble submission, there are 5 reasons why every institution in Nigeria, most especially and around the world, should set up an entrepreneurship department. This entrepreneurship department will be saddled with a singular responsibility of raising people with entrepreneurship skills and knowledge that will go out to establish businesses, sustainable businesses that will create job opportunities for the good of the society. All right. So, but before I go into these 5 reasons why every organization, including even companies, even business organizations, should have entrepreneurship department, I would like to take us into some data about poverty in Nigeria, in Africa, and around the world. First of all, according to World Poverty Clock, 86.9 million people live in extreme poverty in Nigeria. And in the same light now, according to Business Day, 88.4 million people in Nigeria live in extreme poverty. That is to say that for about 45% of the total population in Nigeria live in extreme poverty. Now in 2003, nearly 12% out of the world population in extreme poverty live in Nigeria. That is to say that out of the total population in the whole world that live in extreme poverty, 12% of them live in Nigeria. Alright? Now 63% of persons living in Nigeria, which made up of 133 million people, are multidimensionally poor. That is according to Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. 63% of Nigerians live in poverty, over 133 million people. All right. And then thirdly, as of 2022, 416 million people live in extreme poverty in Africa, out of a population of about 1.4 billion people. That is according to www.statista.com. All right. Most so, about 9.2% of human beings in the world, of the total population of the world, live in extreme poverty. Alright, this 9.2% actually made up of 719 million people. That is about 1 billion people in the world live in extreme poverty. Alright, and then lastly, according to World Poverty Clock, in every 1 single minute, 8 people in Nigeria fall into extreme poverty class. Extreme poverty. That is, in every 1 minute, 8 persons are catapulted into the extreme poverty, group of people. All right. So now that is scary data. That is a very scary data, and with this data now, I will take us into 5 reasons why I believe that every institution in Nigeria, if you're a pastor hearing me, if you're an imam, if you're a vice chancellor, if you're a principal, if you're a headmaster, if you are a director of an institution, as you are hearing me now, you need to know that you need to begin to think of setting up an entrepreneurship department. 5 reasons quickly. Number 1, because of high rate of unemployment. Now there is higher rate of unemployment in Nigeria. All right, we have millions of Nigerians roaming the streets with no job, either unemployed at all or underemployed. And of course, with this actually increase the rate of poverty we have. This is responsible for all the data I've said above. All right. Secondly, increasing business failures. All right, 90% of all businesses, all companies close down or fail in less than 5 years of their startup or their taking up. All right, so every business, all the companies that start, they live not to see their 5th year anniversary. In other words, they have to close down for various reasons. And thirdly, there is a growing population in the world. Now we have over 8 billion people living in the world. All right, so because of the high level of growing population in the world, we need to begin to think of setting up entrepreneurship departments. And number 4, because of government failures. All right, governments in Nigeria, right from the local government, state and federal level, and in Africa and around the world, are failing. Our politicians are failing. All right, larger population of people all over the world depends on government, are looking onto government for their survival, for their well-being, for their material well-being. All right, but government is failing. Our politicians are failing. Now, all these reasons put together, the 4 reasons mentioned, the high rate of unemployment, increasing business failures, growing population, and government failures, is now leading to the 5th reason, which is the danger of insecurity, or the growing level of insecurity. All right, now, especially in Nigeria, there is a growing level or increasing speed of insecurity, ranging from all forms of criminality, terrorism, banditry, kidnappings, and all kinds of security that is posing a serious threat to our collective existence as human beings. All right, so now, because of these reasons, I submit that we need to set up entrepreneurship department. All right, now, if you look at most of our institutions, our religious leaders, for instance, command so much respect, so much influence over our population. All right, so now, if we begin to think of setting up entrepreneurship department, we are going to solve these problems of insecurity, these problems of high rate of unemployment, joblessness, and we are also going to make the work easier for government. All right, now, on this pretext, I want to propose how this should be done. While in the university, at some point, some of the universities we have in Nigeria, for instance, have brought off a course we call entrepreneurship, where the graduates are taught about business so that they can be able to think for themselves. But now, that is commendable, and at this juncture, I must commend the lecturer that taught me on entrepreneurship while in 200 level. He did an amazing work. He did a great work for us, because he wasn't only a lecturer, but he was also an entrepreneur. So he impacted so much on me and many of my classmates that time. All right, so I want to suggest that we need to, as we set up this entrepreneurship department in our churches, in our mosques, in our universities, college of education, secondary school, primary school, the lecturers, the tutors, the teachers, the people that will teach this course, they should not only be people that are educated as in formal education now in business, people that have MBA or PhD in business administration or management, but largely they should be people that have experience, practical experience in business. All right, those that have the head knowledge may be part of those that will set up the curriculum, but the teachers should not, the lecturers, the resource persons should not just be people with formal education. They should be people with first-hand experience in business. Whether in churches, you can sit down, even in a church, if there are no business people, you can go to another place to outsource these materials. There are these resource persons, these people all over the world that are there willing to dish out their knowledge. You can find them, all right? So we can locate them, we can outsource them so that they will teach us, all right? Now, for instance, in churches, the way we have different subgroups in churches, men fellowship, women fellowship, youth fellowship, the choir, and all that, we need to set up a special department that we call entrepreneurship department, which will now be headed by people, with business experience, and then begin to groom and train young people with experience in business. All right. I want to believe if we do this, we'll go a long way in solving the problems of high rate of unemployment, in reducing business failures. Now, even in companies, even in businesses, because we have people running businesses that are just employed with university degrees with no practical knowledge, which largely wreck down these companies and all that. So by the time we do this, we'll begin to reduce down the level of business failures. And the growing population we have will begin to find it easier to feed themselves. And lastly, the government, also will make the work of the government easier in terms of tackling all the social, cultural challenges, socio-political, economic challenges we are facing. And so at this juncture, I would like to say that government should look into this, and not only the government should be able to provide the enabling environment for this setting up entrepreneurship department to thrive, and then also create the enabling environment, providing seed capital and all other necessary environment that is needed for business to thrive. With this, we will go a long way also in tackling the issue of insecurity, because largely is fueled by spate of unemployment and poverty in our land. All right. So now at this point, I also would like to invite you, if you're interested in business, if you're interested in developing your financial intelligence, US Business School, USB, which means Omar and Sons School of Business, USB, is an institution, it's an online virtual institution with a singular responsibility of injecting the right knowledge and skills and experience, on how to set up a business and how to manage a business, and then of course financial intelligence. All right, so now I want to now suggest that you key into this business. I'm in this business school, and this business school is 100% virtual. All right, and the lectures are only on Saturdays, and it runs for 3 months only. All right, so you can be a student, you can be a worker in any organization, you can be a CEO of a company, you can even be a president of a country, a pastor, a minister heading any ministry. All right, so whatever you are, whatever kind of work you are doing, you can actually be able to attend this school. The lectures, like I said, are virtual, 100% virtual, and on Saturdays. All right, first and third Saturdays of a month, and it runs for 3 months. So we create a system where it makes it easier for everyone to learn. And the resource persons of this institution, US School of Business, USB, are cut across different parts of the world. We have some of our resource persons from the Europe, some of our resource persons from Asia, and some of our resource persons from Africa, especially Nigeria. All right, so you will do a lot of good by enrolling in this school, and if you have the influence to sponsor others who can, get into this school and receive the right training, the right knowledge, you will do a lot of good. All right, now if you're willing and interested, you can quickly connect with all the informations you can see. Thank you so much as you join, and thank you so much as you buy into this proposition on how we can, tackle most of our socio-economic challenges in Nigeria and around the world. I remain your friend, Umar Philip. Thank you.